You still think that Sweden is high-tech, Great Britain is great, and the financial center of the world is on Wall Street. To you guys, I'd like to say welcome to Singapore. The Singapore island lies off the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula and is located only 1 degree north of the equator. The modern Singapore was founded in 1819 as a trading post of the East India Company. The British obtained sovereignty over the island in 1824, and for a century and a half it was one of the British Straits settlements. The British and the Dutch simply split the Malay archipelago into a British zone in the north and a Dutch zone in the south. When all this happened, almost 200 years ago, Singapore was mainly a fishing village, whereas Singapore of today is one of the world's leading exporters of technology. And that goes for the tube as well. In Europe, these trains are run by human beings. How can we trust such a vulnerable system? I take a ride with a cable car just to view the harbour. Cause, beside finances, this is what Singapore is about: shipping. Today, the port of Singapore is the second busiest in the world in terms of total tonnage, second only to Shanghai. Singapore declared independence from the United Kingdom in 1963, from 1965 as the Republic of Singapore. Since then, Singapore has developed rapidly, earning recognition as one of the 4 Asian tigers. The other Asian tigers are South Korea, Taiwan and Hong Kong. I have put together a few facts and figures about them, in comparison with Sweden. Let's start with the population density. Only Macau and Monaco are more crowded than Singapore. Number 3 represents the world ranking. And if Sweden had the same density as Singapore, we'd host 3.5 billion people. Here's a classic number, the GDP per capita. Singapore is getting closer. Of course, there's a special corruption index as well. Singapore is doing good here also. But finally, here's maybe the most important figure, the HDI, referring to life expectancy, education, income, and a decent standard of living. In other words, are you happy? And as you can see, Singapore is ahead of us. Finally, I would like to show you the university. Singapore Polytechnic is pretty much like Chalmers back home, hosting some 15,000 students. Among the students, 1,000 study at the Singapore Maritime Academy. Say hello to former Chief Engineer Swapan Das Sarma. He's one of the consultants busy developing the SMA. Here's a few pictures from the DP simulator. The problem they are dealing with at the SMA is not money, but space. And here's a student operating the system.
So I mean, once it's closed, it looks nice, and the guy is very cool. That's going to be desktop. So the new monitors.
This is the room where instructions are given before the exercises.
And then, so 10 minutes, 40 bridge.
And this is the central where the professor monitors the students.
I've got 5 bridges here now.
5 vessels are operating simultaneously. Now let's see what the bridges look like.
So we got the latest, what we call sim.
But the most impressive part is actually the engine simulator. When Swapan created this, he had a surprising inspiration.
Yeah, Kalmar. I went to Kalmar University and I saw what they have done. They have the simulator and then they had a mock engine room there. But there are no engines or pipes or anything, but they just put a box and they painted, this is main engine, this is pump, this is this. Okay. So when I came back to Singapore, I felt, why do I need the box? Why can't I have the real thing? Right? You will not know that it is not running, okay? You get an engine noise, you get smoke, you get heat, you can simulate everything. ENS simulator, you can see the ship moving, right? But in an engine simulator, you have problem with that.
Yeah.
You only see the console. You see the numbers, you see the pressure, temperature, but you don't see the real thing what is happening. So when you run this, the engine actually runs, the noise, the feel, the heat, everything is simulated, right? So students are told, okay, you have pressed this button, you know what you are doing. Go and show us that. Go down and show what is supposed to be done. Don't do it from here. Go down and show us the control.
Now let's just take a walk and see some of the workshops. Here in the workshop, all students are wearing overalls, but in the classroom they're casual. No uniforms here.
If any of the student
Here's another of the SMA methods, e-learning.
courseware.
These CDs were actually produced in this very room. But I want to finish where we started, at the funny ship. Now take a good look at this beautiful building beside me. 3 skyscrapers and on top of them a ship. Now this is what Singapore is about, finances and shipping. Just 1 year ago, both Besset and I were sailing in Singapore Strait, and from there you can see this building very clearly. And when that happened, none of us would ever have dreamt of being here just 1 year later.